What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for NXT Takeover Chicago review. Chicago 2 just went off the air. I don't know what to say about this show. There was a lot of people who were like, this is going to be an underwhelming show. This show is not as big and does not have the firepower that NXT Takeover New Orleans did. Well, every one of you who said that need to eat your damn words, because this show was amazing. Again, has there ever been a bad takeover? Has there ever been an underwhelming takeover in the grand scheme of things? No. I don't care how much money Vince McMahon makes over the next 10, 15, 20 million fucking years. There is no excuse whatsoever that NXT puts on match after match after match of the year candidate and SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw and the pay-per-views, Money in the Bank, which is going to probably be trash. WrestleMania was trash, Backlash was trash, Elimination Chamber was trash, Fastlane was trash, the Royal Rumble was about 50-50 with the two Rumble matches, I guess being the high spots and everything else just being filler. But this show tonight was great. If you want to rank the matches, in my opinion, from best to, strongest to weakest, the weakest, of course, was the Women's Championship match. It was the buffer match between the Velveteen Dream and Ricochet's match and everything that came after that. The tag team title match, which opened the show, was the second weakest. It just, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch showed that they could possibly win the tag team titles. It didn't feel like it was there. And then, of course, the NXT Championship match was Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan was the third strongest. The second strongest was Velveteen Dream and Ricochet, and of course, the strongest match of the night, which will probably be in the 5-star match category because it was that damn good, was Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa 2. It was probably the best street fight you will ever see outside of probably like what ECW used to do when they had good street fights, or good matches that turned into street fights. That match was just amazing. The ending, I'm torn on, just the way it ended. It's like, you knew Tommaso Ciampa needed to win that match, but I'm just not a big fan of how the referee just disappears after, and Johnny Gargano takes Tommaso Ciampa, who was taken out on a gurney, back to the ring, and the referee is nowhere to be found. It's four guys in black suits trying to keep Johnny Gargano off of Tommaso Ciampa as he's causing more pain to Tommaso Ciampa. That just irked me a little bit. Where's the referee? If you're going to have Johnny Gargano being pulled off of him, at least have a referee, like the referees out there, or a referee out there pulling him off. Just having four corporate guys from the back in suits doing this thing, and the referee's nowhere to be found until the closing seconds, really irked me, and it was like, it should have ended that way, but the fact that it was four suits instead of, maybe the referee, maybe a couple refs, kind of just didn't feel right. That was like the down for that match. Ricochet Velveteen Dream, my God, I don't know what to say about that. If it wasn't for Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, which we'll go into full details later, for all these matches, this match would have been match of the night and match of the weekend. These two, and it's sad because we have AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in a WWE Championship match at Money in the Bank, and they're not going to be able to do half of what they got to see from Ricochet and the Velveteen Dream, or from Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, or Lars Sullivan versus the Aleister Black, or the Tag Team Championship match, or the Women's Championship match, which was bizarre. That Women's Championship match, I'll say for a minute, made Goldust look normal. Made 1995 Goldust look like a normal person. That's how bizarre this match was. We'll get to that later. This show, again, pulled off what a lot of people thought they wouldn't be able to do. And during the conference call this week, Triple H's mindset, he even told people his mindset is that his mindset for this NXT is to always outdo themselves. A lot of people going into this takeover were like, that's not going to happen because NXT Takeover Chicago, New Orleans was so good. We had the six-man ladder match. We had the tag team triple threat match with Roderick Strong turn heel. And I think that match was underwhelming in that sense, but we'll get to that later. We had Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien. We had Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon, and we had Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in an unsanctioned match. How in the hell were they going to top that takeover? And they did. They did, 100%. match after match after match until I'd say the first two matches topped one another. Then I think, and depends on who you talk to, I enjoyed the Women's Championship match. I enjoyed it because it was different. It was weird. It was what Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler should have been. And after that, the other two matches after that, the NXT Championship and the second takeover in a row for Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, blew the roof off the place. And Lars Sullivan, outside of a botch, which I'll talk about that later, which does irk me a little bit that it happened how it happened and what it entails to, that match was great. And of course, Lars Sullivan is still very young and green in his career. I guarantee you Aleister Black's been wrestling 10 times, like twice as long as Lars Sullivan has. I think Lars Sullivan is just a homegrown product of WWE, and he's only been in the ring for about maybe a year or two. So being in that big spot that he is for the NXT Championship, anybody who criticizes him for that one botch you're fooling yourself, because everyone makes mistakes. I guarantee you Aleister Black made mistakes and had botches when he was younger. Same thing with like Kyle O'Reilly or Adam Cole or any of those guys. It was one botch. It did take away from the match a little bit. If you would see Dave Meltzer's star ratings, I'm sure that took off at least a half a star or maybe a star for that botch, because it was a grisly one and the crowd did let them know it. Tag team title match started off the show, and I've got to say, the crowd loved the Undisputed Era. The crowd loved Oni Lorcan. They hated Danny Burch. 110%. Anytime Danny Burch even did anything, this crowd was booing the living hell out of him. They did not like the British guy, who is Danny Burch. He's from the UK. But as soon as this dude went to do anything, they were booing the living hell out of him. They were booing Oni Lorcan at the beginning of the match, but when he started, going off with some high spots and everything, they started getting behind him. The Undisputed Era was over from the start. There was nothing going to do at all. The crowd chanting for Undisputed and all that stuff. This match, it was a really great tag team match, but it was, in my opinion, with everything that followed the Women's Championship match, was the second weakest match of the night. You're not going to top Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet and Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa with anything on this show. Those are 1 and 2, and whoever says that those two weren't great matches, I don't know what you're watching. I even put it on Twitter because a lot of people are not fans of Ricochet. If you want hype for this match between those two, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you're watching NXT Takeover. I don't, because that match was great. But the Tag Team Championship match, Undisputed versus Oni Lorcan. Undisputed chance as they start strong, and Lorcan start the match. O'Reilly tags in, and he and Burch go back and forth. Quick tag to Lorcan. Strong comes in, and they suplex him onto O'Reilly. Burch and Lorcan sent Undisputed to the outside, and the crowd boos them heavily. Again, I don't know what it is. These guys are supposed to be the babyface team. Lorcan got his fair share of cheers. I mean, he got boos in the beginning, but he was cheered towards the end, for the rest of the match. When he tried to pin, I think he tried to pin Roderick Strong or Kyle O'Reilly, the crowd was chanting 1, 2 along with him, like they wanted to see him win the match. Anything Danny Burch did, I don't understand it. The crowd in Chicago did not like Danny Burch. Even if he had high spots, even if he pulled off some of the most spectacular moves, these fans did not want to see Danny Burch do anything. He could have sat on the side and had Oni Lorcan wrestle this entire match, and the crowd would have been fine with it, which is weird. Undisputed chant the crowd, back in, and O'Reilly baits Lorcan into his corner. Strong distracts O'Reilly on the attack. Both men trading shots and knees to get to the gut. Burch tags in and double drop kicks to O'Reilly's knees. Then Strong comes in and Burch takes him down. Then a drop kick to Strong off the top rope. Then a kip up. O'Reilly tries to kick Burch, but he catches that and he eats a drop kick by Strong out to the outside. Burch gets sent into the apron. O'Reilly tags in and 2-on-1 attack in the corner. O'Reilly hits a backbreaker into the knee bar. Strong tags in and stomps on Burch, who lays into him. Then he taunts Lorcan. He said something to him. I couldn't catch what he said because the crowd was just on fire for this entire match. It was hard for this match. I mean, when Lars Sullivan took on Aleister Black later on, you can actually understand. And same thing with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. When they were saying something, they had the camera up closer to them so you could actually hear what they said. But here I couldn't hear what they said because the crowd wanted to see the Undisputed Era do a lot here. O'Reilly backbreaker into the knee march. Lorcan then attacks Burch again. Then that's wrong. I wrote that wrong. Then a backbreaker to Birch for a 2 count. O'Reilly back in and both men with shots in the corner. Birch blocks O'Reilly, but O'Reilly takes him down and just lays him into him, going for the armbar, but Birch fights in it. Strong tags in and hits a beautiful drop kick for a 2 count. I gotta say, I think I said it before, Roderick Strong has some of the best drop kicks I think I've seen. This guy is just good at the drop kick game. No offense, that's about it. Elbows by Strong, rocking Birch. Strong goes for the running knee, but misses in a backdrop by Birch, but Strong tags in O'Reilly, who tries to take out Lorcan, and O'Reilly eats a headbutt. Lorcan and Strong tag in, and Lorcan is taking it to both Strong and O'Reilly and being booed the whole time. This was like the only, there were times when he's like doing high spots. Like, I don't know what was with this crowd. Like, they definitely did not want to see Danny Birch and Oney Lorcan win these pelts. So but for the most part, it was times where Lorcan, it might have been Birch, but there were times where Lorcan was getting booed towards the end. But majority of the time, if it was one-on-one match between him or Strong or O'Reilly, it was like cheer for both sides. But when he was attacking both, boos. This was one of those times where I'm like, this is definitely a smart mode crowd. I figured there would have been cheers for all 4 guys, but. And anyway, if you thought so, you know how this match was going to end. I knew they weren't going to lose the titles. But, like, for some reason, the crowd was, like, they had that feeling that maybe they're going to lose the titles to Oney Lorcan and Danny Birch. So they were going to let WWE know, or Triple H know that, don't do it because this is a bad idea. So Lorcan sends Strong into O'Reilly double blockbuster, which I love Oney Lorcan's running double blockbuster. Nobody else does it. One thing that irks me about main roster is that you have Bobby Roode and Seth Rollins who both do a blockbuster, just like Seth Rollins and Finn Balor do the Sling Blade together. Not something I really want to see people doing the same move, people like copying each other. It doesn't make the move special. So seeing Oney Lorcan be the only one to do a running blockbuster is always just awesome. They hit their finisher, which I honestly don't know what it is. It looks like a draping DDT, like. I think Lorcan holds the guy and Danny Birch the other way around, hits him with a DDT. I thought it was over. I thought, oh my God, they're actually going to give them tag team titles. But now they get a 2 count as O'Reilly saves the match. They go for the Doomsday flying elbow, turning European uppercut. But O'Reilly tosses Lorcan off the top rope, and I'm like, this dude hit hard. He got shoved and just tumbled to the ground. It looked like he hit his shoulder or arm on the apron as he tumbled. Kicks to Birch's face. O'Reilly tags in and kicks to Birch's face, but Birch avoids the leg sweep. O'Reilly goes for the armbar, but Birch holding on until he breaks the hold. Birch fights to the bottom rope, and then the crowd boos this. Again, out of all 4 guys, I don't understand. I still want to try and figure out why people were booing Danny Birch so badly. Running knees in the corner slam, followed by a running knee by O'Reilly for a 2 count. Birch with the headbutt by a headbutt. Lorcan tags in, which at this time we're like, how is Oney Lorcan still in this thing? Because I thought he almost got killed with the way he went down. It looked like he was going to be out, but no. Perseverance comes through, and of course, this was interesting because Doomsday device, spinning elbow, spinning European uppercut or whatever they call it. And it's like, oh, we're going to have any tag champs on Roderick Strong. Cole pulls Roderick Strong out of the ring. The ref's like, wait a minute, what are you doing? This is for the championship. He kicks out Adam Cole, who does leave without a fuss or anything. Well, he does play a little bit of fuss, but he doesn't distract the match anymore. And the crowd is raining down bullshit chants. That's how much these fans wanted these guys to win this match. They go for the finisher again, but Strong pulls Birch out of the ring and guillotine choke with leg vice, but Danny Birch, Oney Lorcan powers out of that. Strong tacks in. He hits the back uppercuts on Lorcan. Chop block by Lorcan, powerbomb turned into a single crab. Looks like we're going to have a take on when the DIY faced the Revival. And DIY made both Revival members tap out at the same time because Oney Lorcan had a single crab on Roderick Strong, and Danny Birch looked like he had a crossface on Kyle O'Reilly. And it's like both guys, and it's like, we're going to get a double tap out, and then Kyle O'Reilly was able to roll it around and kick Danny Birch in the face. He did kick. It was funny. Before that, he actually runs up and does a running kick to Danny Burch's face, and he doesn't even faze him. He just gets up, like he just screams in Kyle O'Reilly's face, and then of course, it was Lorcan's face, not Burch's face. I keep messing up. This was just a great match. This was a heck of a show, and I'm trying to get my words together. I apologize. He rolls around and kicks Lorcan off strong. Both teams up and they go to blows. Both teams are in the ring, and they're like, come on. Like, the Undisputed Era's like, come on. And they just start going to blows. The crowd's on fire. These guys have the crowd in the palm of their hands. With shots to O'Reilly, high-low by Undisputed Era for the 3 count. Winners and still champions are the Undisputed Era. Post-match, and this is interesting, you had the entire crowd booing these guys the entire time, but this is the way that Chicago just shows the respect to Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. I was thinking, why are they showing these guys in the middle of the ring still? The crowd, of course, was going to give them a standing L. I was like, we're going to have a heel turn on one of these guys. We're going to have Burch and Lorcan again. But no, they just stand there while the crowd gives them a standing ovation because they earned one. After the match they put on with the Undisputed Era, my commentary right here is terrible. Just go out and check the match if you haven't yet. But the crowd gave them a standing ovation, as they should have. Then we have the Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream match. Hulk Hogan never looked so good. Ricochet comes out, not Ricochet, but Velveteen Dream comes out wearing like Hulk Hogan-inspired pants, Hulk Hogan-inspired shirt. Instead of it saying Hulkamania runs wild, Dream runs wild or lives on. Instead, like, it was a take on the Hollywood Hulk Hogan shirt where it was Hulkamania lives on in 2002. 2002. It said Dream lives on. And he wore a do-rag, he wore a Hulkamania-like shirt. As he's getting to the ring, he does the Hulkamania-like gestures, they listen to each one of the corners. He does the poses, he rips the shirt off like Hogan. Dude was all in this Hulk Hogan thing. After the match starts, they actually had these two stand in the middle of the ring and do the Hulk Hogan, The Rock, stare down at WrestleMania 18, where they just sit there and they turn one side and look at the crowd, turn the other side and look at the crowd. Crowd wasn't as loud as that crowd was, but you heard Velveteen Dream. I didn't hear much of a Ricochet at this time, but you did hear a Velveteen Dream. Yeah. All I gotta say is this match, I will try and talk a little bit about it more, but this match, just from this match on, Money in the Bank has become absolutely irrelevant this year. Absolutely irrelevant. Vince McMahon's got it. Clearly Vince McMahon does not watch NXT. Drew McIntyre put a tweet out during this show, told the Raw and SmackDown rosters to watch NXT Takeover. If you do not think you are good enough to be on the greatest roster, then get that. And he said it differently, I'm pretty sure, but he pretty much was like, if you don't think you're good enough for this roster, get the hell out, because we have people in NXT ready to take your place and do better than you. If Drew McIntyre is saying that, who wants to make WWE better? I don't know how long WWE is going to allow him to be like that, but Drew McIntyre wants WWE to be better on the main roster. He was in NXT for about 6-7 months. For about over half a year. He wants the NXT to be like Raw and SmackDown, to be like NXT. If WWE's Money in the Bank did half of what, if WWE's Money in the Bank matches were as half as good as these matches tonight, it would be one hell of a show. But I guarantee you, with Asuka versus Carmella, which is going to have a fuck finish thanks to Jane Ellsworth, which that character has died, was dead before he left. That character was useless. You had him on a fucking collar. This isn't the time for this. With Nia Jax versus Ronda fucking Rousey, which is a match nobody wants to see. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's the sad part. These guys put on a match that Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles should want to top. These guys here tonight, no one's going to try and even top Charlie Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. There's just no way. That was a street fight. I know these guys are on the last man standing match, but these guys, Ricochet and Tommaso and Velveteen Dream, Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, we want to top that. They won't be allowed to because AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura are not homegrown guys, and Vince McMahon is just doing it for fan service, even though he's pretty much just drilling into the ground. It's like, I gave it to you, God damn it, have it, until we get tired of it, which we already are. Anyway, Dream gets. I think I honestly tried to do move for move the opening segment of that Hogan versus Rock match from WrestleMania 18. It's just what it felt like. You would have Dream get Ricochet in the corner, and then he does the Hogan pose where he's like flexing his muscles. Just great shit. It was just great. Ricochet with some head scissors early. Ricochet with a near fall for a 2 count. He had both of Velveteen Dream's arms behind him and just like rocked him over for a 2 count. Headlock by Ricochet. Dream tries to toss him off, but Ricochet doesn't let go. That's gotta hurt. When you try to do the bounce off the ropes and toss somebody off and they don't let go and you just go straight down, just straight transition all the way down, that's gotta hurt. Dream finally reverses it, but Ricochet shoves him off and Dream with a shoulder block. This pisses me off because they had a network, and the WWE Network had a network outage for a second during this match. So I missed 3-4 minutes of this match, unfortunately. Then when I did get back into Ricochet was on the apron, he goes for a springboard off the top rope, and Ricochet Dream hits the rope, dropping Ricochet on his throat. Big portion of the match from here on out was him trying to work on the neck area. Back in Dream's lane in the haymaker and stomps in the corner. He backs off for a second. It's like, okay, I'm done. Turns around and just goes back at it again. And he tells her, don't touch me. I'm the Velveteen Dream. You don't touch me. Getting that cockiness of him just all in there. Dream has control of Ricochet, then drops him on the top rope again. Dream goes on the apron and does a rolling splash. This was there was a lot of anything you can do, I can do better from Velveteen Dream. They said it was the second one he did. I missed the first one because, WWE had a network fail. If anyone else had that problem, let me know. So I don't know if it was just me, but the thing froze, and then I had to I had to turn off my app and then turn it back on, and I was not happy because I missed a good portion of this match. Dream has control of Ricochet and drops him on the top rope again, and then the splash off the rope. Back on Ricochet, and he hits a neck breaker for a 2 count. Ricochet tries to fight back, but he gets a back elbow, He goes to bounce off the ropes, but Dream just shoves him to the outside. And then Dream does how do I want to say this? He runs to the rope, puts his one foot on the rope, and then just springs himself over the rope, splashing on, landing onto Ricochet, which is something Ricochet would do. Dream has Ricochet in the headlock. He does get a 2 count off of that, and he tosses him back in. He gets him in the headlock. Ricochet tries to fight out as the crowd is divided. We start hearing Ricochet, Dream. This crowd is going crazy. Kick to Dream, knocking him back. Then a back elbow. Dream misses a move. Enzuigiri misses by Ricochet. Dream goes to attack, and Ricochet body boots him out of the corner, then the rolling drop kick, sending him outside. Suicide dive by Ricochet to the outside. The second one is the back flip over the top rope, which I don't know the actual name of it is. They say it too fast. Running uppercut in the corner, then he tosses Dream into the second turnbuckle, 619, then he splashes for a 2 count. Dream kicks Ricochet, but he answers with a jumping neck breaker, then standing shooting star press for a 2 count. Ricochet takes Dream up, but he drops him and sends Ricochet and Dream drops him, sending Ricochet to the outside. Ricochet gets on the top rope again, and Dream crosses him. Dream goes for something, but Ricochet sends him crashing to the mat. Ricochet goes for the 630, but jumps to the outside, but Dream gets him up and hits a rolling Death Valley driver to Ricochet off the top rope for a 2 count. That thing looked nasty. This is Awesome Chance because this is not an NXT show without This is Awesome Chance. I will have to say, I think this is the first time in a long time that when the referee counted 10, I did not hear the crowd chanting 10. Maybe they finally killed the 10 chants in NXT. I don't know, but it's there's a couple times a night you hear the ref counting the 1, 2, 3, and I think they did in this match too, and you don't hear the crowd counting 10. I could be deaf and I didn't hear that, but that's what I swear I didn't hear them counting 10. I heard them counting along, 1, 2, 3, Dream goes for the purple rainmaker, but Ricochet goes to get him, and he moves out of the way. A shot by Ricochet. He goes for something. Looks like he's about ready to do a suplex because Dream was on the apron. He looks like he's going to do a suplex from the apron into the ring, but Velveteen Dream reverses that and suplexes him to the outside. That looked like that hurt like $1 million. That sounded like it looked like it hurt. Both men beat the 10 count barely. Like I said, like it did not sound like you hear 10, 10, 10. Hopefully that's finally dead. I mean, no offense to Ty Dillinger, but the 10 chants have got to go. Both men struggled to get up, rolling Death Valley Driver for a 2 count. It looked like they were both like helping, like had a hold of each other's like side, like throats, or like neck area or shoulder area, and were trying to get up. Looked like Ricochet was about ready to swing, but he ends up getting hit with the rolling Death Valley Driver for a 2. Both men trading exhausting shots. You can just tell that these two were taking the wind out of themselves, like had the wind taken out of them. Dream's DDT reversed into a Northern Light suplex, super kick by Dream, pump kick by Ricochet, lariat by Ricochet. Dream does hit his Sister Abigail. Like he has it set up like the Sister Abigail, and then he wraps his arm around, and then does the Sister Abigail into a DDT. Somebody tell me what that name is of that DDT, because I've never heard them say anything about that. Dream is just slapping Ricochet and berating him, saying, I'm the star. This is my NXT. You belong in a bingo hall. Get out of my NXT. This is awesome chance. Ricochet hits a rolling Death Valley Driver for a 2 count. Who goes up the pose and does his Velveteen Dream pose, and then hits the Purple Rainmaker for a 2 count. So that's not only Velveteen Dream doing anything you can do, I can do better. Ricochet is doing that. Well, if you can do it, so can I. Ricochet goes for the 630, but Dream rolls out of the way. Shooting star press. He rolled out of the way. It looked like Ricochet's going to get down to me. He's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go for the shooting star press. But Velveteen Dream gets his knees up. He gets a 2 count. Dream goes up now for the coast to coast Rainmaker. I don't know what he thought he was doing. But Percy Rawson says if Ricochet doesn't move, he would hit the Purple Rainmaker. Man, Ricochet was right under the top, under the ropes. Like he was in the area of the corner. Like you couldn't get any further off the mat unless you rolled you couldn't get closer to the ring ropes without laying underneath them or rolling underneath. He went for a Purple Rainmaker on the corner, like he was going for a coast to coast, like Shane or OVD would do. But there's no way, and you could see that Ricochet was too far away, and Velveteen Dream would have hit him. Maybe would have got him with his head, but his elbow would have missed completely. That was like terrible. He misses the Purple Rainmaker, but Ricochet moves and goes up for the 630, hits it on Dream's back. 1, 2, 3, and Ricochet is your winner. I am really shocked about that. I thought Velveteen Dream was going to win, but it does not mean this feud is over with. I could honestly see Ricochet and Velveteen Dream probably, since they had the takeover match, I could see them having an NXT TV match now, like a full TV match, instead of having like Lars Sullivan come out and destroy them. Ricochet is your winner. Moving on to Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross. This one is the most bizarre women's championship match I think I've ever seen. Nikki Cross lives up to her name as the Twisted Sister of NXT. She is one crazy psycho bitch. I will say that, and I do not mean that in a negative way. You can say somebody's a bitch without meaning in a negative way. This woman, everything that she took everything Shayna Baszler would give her, and she took it with a smile. She took it with a smile. Even when the match ended, she did not tap out. She passed out, but she went out smiling. This woman is ridiculously crazy. Bell rings and the match is on the way. Cross just standing unfazed by Baszler, who's sitting there doing her jumping that her boxing technique, back and forth, legs going back and forth, shit like that. Cross starts begging her to do it. She grabs her, puts her hands around her neck, twists her neck, and is like, "Do it, come on, do it." She gets on her knees, and she gets shoved down by Shayna Baszler, and she just sits there and laughs about it. She's on her knees. She chases Baszler over to the other side of the ring. Cross turns her back to Baszler. It's like, "Come on, I'll give you the free shot." But it quickly turns around, and Cross gets the sleeper in on Baszler, who gets a clutch who reverses that into the carry through the clutch. But Cross gets out of that and stomps away. Cross body drops onto the apron, then pulls her into the apron skirt and rolls on her again. Then she gets on Baszler again and Baszler drops Cross on the steel ramp. I'm like, that's probably the only way you're gonna stop her. He tosses Cross back into the ring, and Cross eats a knee to the face. 2 count. She literally just sits there. She's on her knees. Looks like she's like, just do it. Knee to the face. 1, 2. Now Baszler's just all over Cross. Baszler is pissed. She is like not happy. She like Baszler's strength as her character in WWE is that she must if she gets into somebody's head, she's already won the match. She's already won the match because if she breaks your mind, your body will break as well. She can't do that to Nikki Cross. She has tried for like everything to break Nikki Cross, and she couldn't do it. That's how good she is. Baszler just starts putting her hand over Nikki Cross's mouth, and probably with mouth nose too, trying to suffocate her a little bit. But Cross just continues to smile. This is like, you know how I said in WWE, there's no reason to smile? This is an exception because this is part of Nikki Cross. She's not smiling in a fake way to make it look like she's a fake person. No, she's smiling because she loves pain. She loves that everything that you can't hurt her. That everything you do to her is not going to work. Nikki Cross showed tonight. There were a lot of people out there disappointed in this match, but I actually enjoyed the way this match went. Baszler trying to cause Cross some more pain, but Cross fights out and elbows to Baszler, but Baszler with a knee strike, then a running one, and Cross just smiles and wants more. And then another knee strike. She wants more. She catches the third knee and some strikes to Baszler's chest. Belly to back suplex by Cross, taking the champ down. Best press by Cross, then shots to Baszler, then Cross just all over Baszler. High crossbody off the top rope by Cross for a 2 count, who starts slapping herself. Like, come on, I got this. Before hitting a reverse DDT on the apron. Cross goes for the pin and gets a 2 count. Draping Purge, which is the Draping Purge, you know, she does the swinging neckbreaker thing. She blocked that into a knee for a 2 count. Careful to clutch blocked by Cross, who hits the Purge off the top rope this time, but Baszler gets the foot on the rope for a 2 count. So they protected the Purge, but she did not win. She didn't win, but she didn't kick. But Shayna Baszler didn't kick out. Crucifix pin turned into the Careful Clutch by Baszler. Cross is trying to fight out. They keep fighting. They keep going from top mount to side to top to side, and eventually you just see them sitting in top mount, and you just see Nikki Cross have a smile on her face, and then she passes out. She passes out, and the match is over. Crowd, I don't think, was really happy with the match. I absolutely enjoyed that match. It was different. You knew Nikki Cross wasn't going to be intimidated. You had to try and do everything you could to make her feel pain. That wasn't going to happen. So having Nikki Cross go out with a smile on her face, a wicked, twisted smile on her face, was the way to go. Keith Lee was in the crowd. Keith Lee has been confirmed for NXT. I mean, there was talk of, I think there was saying that there was talk that he was going to sign with WWE. There was no official confirmation that he was going to be signing with WWE. There was just talk that he was. That has been confirmed tonight. He was. They did show EC3. They showed Kairi Sane earlier in the crowd. I'm surprised they didn't do that before the women's match, just to, you know, put that seed that she's watching the competition to see who's going to be NXT Women's Champion come Brooklyn. But no, they did that between the tag team match and the Ricochet and Velveteen Dream match. So I think they missed an opportunity there, but whatever. Sullivan versus Aleister Black NXT Championship match. This match was brutal. Both men soak to the ring. Lawler starts talking trash to Black, who just and says, Black mask won't take me down. It's like one shot's not going to be enough, and in the end, you're going to have to see, yes, it was not enough. Black walks right up to Sullivan, shots by Black, then a freak accident block, then a Black mask was caught again, then Black with a kick to the head, sending Black. It was like a heel hit. He did a roundhouse, and his heel caught the back of Lawler Sullivan's head. Running double knees on by Black. He said something that sounded like it was in Japanese, Dutch, or whatever before he did the running knees to the face. Definitely something I didn't understand what he said. He sends Sullivan down on the ground, who does just pop right back up, but gets back inside. Sullivan with some clubbing blows. Jumping knee by Black for a 1 count. Then he grabs Sullivan's arm, working on it, trying to, take the big man's arm power out. So if he tries to do the freak accident, he won't have the power in his arm to do that, even though I think it was the wrong arm. Sullivan shoves him down, shoves him down. He goozles Black and tosses him into the corner. Black moves out of the way. Black sends to the apron. Sullivan takes Black's arm and tries to power slam him. Black's on the apron. Lawler Sullivan grabs this guy, his arm, Looks like he's about ready to like rip it out, and then he just lifts him up and tries to go for a pop-up power slam. But Black tries to clothesline him, and Sullivan just runs through it. On the outside, Sullivan is tossed shoulder first into the ring post, and it doesn't seem to faze him. Lars Sullivan was made to look extra strong in this match. Backflip by Black caught by Sullivan, dropping him on the apron, then into the barricade. Black is blocked in the corner, and Sullivan with a splash in the corner, he gets a 2 count. Sullivan causing pain to Black with the clubbing shots to Black's face. Sullivan gets another 2 count. Sullivan now with the rest hold on Black, wearing him down. Black fights back with Sullivan with a kick to the gut. He catches Black for the power slam, but Black tries to roll through. That doesn't work. Sullivan lifts him up and just power slams him to the mat for a 2 count. Then he taunts the fans about Black. He's like, "Is this your champ? This is your champion. How pathetic." That's exactly what he said. He literally just sat there and like, "This is your champion? How pathetic." I was like, wow. Just pretty much taunting the fans. He's like, "Get up. I got you. Get up." Elbow by Black, then a series of elbow pop-up power slam for a 2 count. Lars goes up top and with Black with a running socket kick, a running kick to the face. He goes for the superplex, but Lars fights him off until back elbow with the top rope on the top rope, sending him to the apron, and Sullivan crushes Black. Then a lariat sending Black to the mat. Sullivan goes back up and goes for the diving headbutt, which a man that size should not be doing a diving headbutt. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I've already said this, and I'm an advocate for getting rid of the diving headbutt. Because WWE has this whole thing with concussions that they don't want to deal with. Why do you continue to allow your superstars to do a diving headbutt? That's what happened with Dame Redacted, because I'm not going to put him in this thing. I'll talk about that maybe another time if it comes up. But that is something that needs to be removed from wrestling. But Aleister Black gets his one leg, hitting Sullivan's jaw, messing up his knee. Combo strikes by Black, he finally gets Sullivan down, then a running knee strike, back up and Black with a kick to Sullivan's head, then a springboard backflip on Sullivan for the 2 count. Black mask was blocked, then a knee shot to Black by Sullivan. Sullivan gets the horse collar onto Aleister Black's knee, the bad knee. It looks like he's going to rip this guy's knee apart. Black gets it and somehow turns it into a pinfall for a 2 count. Freak accident gets reversed into a DDT by Black. Sullivan in the apron. Boozles Black, who hits an elbow, then a forearm by Sullivan. Kicks on the apron by Black, but Sullivan just laid Black out on the apron. He goes back up, hits the headbutt, but only gets a 2 count. Sullivan goes up for a knee shot, misses, double stomp to the back of the back. Black mass. This was the botch. Sullivan goes for like a dive to try and hit something, like to try and another dive to get into Aleister Black's knee. Aleister Black jumps and ends up hitting the double foot stomps. Somehow, for some reason, Aleister Black goes for a Black mass. Either he was too late, or he was out of position, but it barely nicks the ear of Lars Sullivan, who falls down like a ton of bricks, and he kicks out at 2. It was a botch, but he kicked out of a Black mass. It wasn't a full shot to the face Black mass, but he kicked out of a Black mass in a very bad botch. Black mass caught lariat by Lars Sullivan. Freak accident blocked, running knee to the jaw. Black mass to Sullivan, but he gets up immediately. He's on his knees. He's like, come on, do it. Like, come on, bring it on. The fear, the anger in Aleister Black's face was something that, like, if I saw somebody with that on their face, I would not want to be hit with anything coming from them. He looked like he was out for blood. Black mass number 2, or number 3 really, but Black mass is second Black mass in a row. 1, 2, 3, winner and still NXT champion, Aleister Black. Where do they go from here for Aleister Black? I don't know. We have two possible contenders after tonight, one being Ricochet and one being the winner of Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. Again, what do they do with Lars Sullivan is my question. Maybe he's the one to take the North American Championship off of Adam Cole, who was not in a match, but he was at TakeOver in a supporting role of his boys, the Undisputed Era. Does he have to defend that title every time? No. The North American Championship is like the championship I could see being defended more on NXT shows than takeovers. The NXT Championship, and the Women's Championship, and the Tag Team Championships will mostly be defended on takeovers. I mean, yes, every once in a while you'll see the Tag Team and Women's Championship or the main championship defended on NXT, but the NXT North American Championship feels like it should be like the TV title back in the day, or the internet title for like wrestling promotions like Defiant, where you wouldn't see them on the main shows as much, and if you did, then, you know, people wouldn't have to watch them. But, yeah, so I would expect to see Adam Cole as North American Champion be more of defending his on NXT's main TV and not takeovers as much. It's just the way it feels like for that. Because if you put all 4 titles on the line, if you would have had all 4 titles on the line tonight, that would have been 6 matches. And they don't always want to go to 3 hours like they did in NXT Takeover in New Orleans. They want to try and keep that 2 hours in like 25 minutes, maybe 2.5 hours, and trying to have all 6 matches. You don't want to take away time from other people. So it's more of less of that. Should, like, Brooklyn and WrestleMania takeovers are like the only 2 takeovers I think the North American title should be defended at. And other times it should be like they do with the UK title, where the UK title has been defended on NXT TV a lot more lately. That's where the North American title should be more than any other NXT title. Let me know what your opinion down in the comment section below for that one. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa street fight. How do I even go into this match? This match was brutal. Brutal. Before the match, I will say this. They see Johnny Gargano walking to the ring silent, no music, no nothing. All of a sudden, Candice LeRae shows up, hands him a crutch. Not a full crutch, like a half a crutch or something, and just says, "Kick his ass." Smile from Gargano, who walks to the ring with that crutch. Tommaso Ciampa comes out with a bigger crutch, which, quite honestly, out of the opening segment, his crutch didn't really get used. Opening set portion of the match. This match, if you love wrestling, this was your match. If you love big brawls, if you like slobber knockers, and I know JR loves slobber knockers, this was your match. If you like a piece of shit match where nobody gives a fuck about the 2 competitors and the match makes no sense, this is not the match for you. Everybody else who was if you love New Japan Pro Wrestling and you love like ICW, or you love any indie promotion that puts on high quality matches, this was the match for you. This match was definitely what should be the blueprint of storytelling in a match. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is no excuse that tomorrow night, there is no excuse that last man standing match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura is not there to tear the house down. I don't give a shit if there's a fuck finish. If you make the match fucking great, the fuck finish will have to be worried about another time. But this match set the bar for all stipulation matches, like a street fight, a falls count anywhere match, a last man standing match, a whatever match. This match was absolutely excellent, and I didn't think they'd be able to top what they did at Takeover New Orleans. There's just no way. The brutality of that match, the hatred in that match, everything that went into that match, and somehow, motherfucker, these 2 topped that match. And that was a 5-star classic, so if this one doesn't get 5.5 to 6 stars, I don't know who's going to be rating this match. This match was great. Ciampa charges the ring with his own crutch, and Gargano and him is on him early. They do a dueling shot with the crutch, and of course they both drop him. Ciampa gets tossed over to the announce table, taking out Nigel Beginnings, and I'm thinking, don't do that. We need him. This guy is going to be calling UK tournament with Marlon Allen on Tuesday. And Monday and Tuesday. Don't take him out. If we have him injured, who's going to replace him for the UK tournament? Are we going to have Percy Watson in Marlon Allen? That would have been bad, in my opinion. Kicks by Ciampa, and he takes over as they fight. He grabs a Johnny Gargano side. There was this big, huge And obviously this thing was a plant. The guy holding this was a plant. There was a big, huge white sign with the Johnny Gargano logo on it. Big, huge thing. He goes to, like, you know, as a heel would do, rip it in half. He can't. He can't. He's like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Johnny Gargano takes over again and grabs that sign, opens it up, and it's a stop sign. And I'm thinking, Tommy Dreamer, if he's watching this match, is probably smiling with that move, because that's something. It got an ECW chant, by the way. I'm pretty sure everybody who knows. I can't remember what match it was. It might have been a one-night stand or something where Tommy Dreamer opened a fan sign and there was a stop sign inside. So I was like, wow, that's awesome. And he just lays into Tommaso Ciampa with this stop sign. Wow, he beat the holy hell out of him for that stop sign. Johnny Gargano goes up to this like crate or something over by the crowd, and Tommaso Ciampa has a sign. Looks like he's going to do something with it, but he ends up eating a splash by Johnny Gargano. Back at ringside, Gargano grabs a trash can, a chair from under the ring. They was trying to "We want tables." He didn't grab any tables. Tables would be used later on in a different manner. Gargano grabs a leg, a German suplex by Ciampa. Ciampa goes to stomp Gargano on the chair, but Gargano moves. He was going to stomp his head, which I'm so glad he moved. That would have been one of those, why the fuck are they doing these? And continues to beat on Ciampa, who gets off the German suplex. Then a second one, and a third one. The fourth one is blocked, and Gargano hits his own German suplex. Crowd did start chanting Suplex City, as you imagine. Then a suicide dive on the outside of the ring onto Ciampa. Ciampa tossed into the ring steps. Running knee by Ciampa as Gargano looks for something under the ring. Now Ciampa tosses Gargano into the barricade. Ciampa takes the steps and just drags them a little bit away. I'm like, what is he going to do here? Is he going to do like a assisted powerbomb or something off of them? No. Ciampa drags the steps and kicks Gargano in the head, then goes under the ring for another trash can. He looks like he tried to toss it into the ring, but his aim was so bad that it tossed up and landed on the other side by the steps. It was kind of funny. He gets another chair. He shots to Gargano. He just looks at Gargano in the face and just shoves that thing into his chair. The vileness of him. I'm going to say this was a great takeover, but this takeover, I'm no disrespect to Vic Joseph. He did a fantastic job. This show really missed Mauro Ranallo, quite honestly. This show, 100%, it was a great takeover, but it felt like it was just missing something. And this match particular, was missing Mauro Ranallo. Plain and simple. Koshu Showtime Boxing for taking away the voice of NXT. Like I said, I have no disrespect for Vic Joseph. He does a great job at what he does. He did a fantastic job in place of him, but he does not compare to Mauro Ranallo. I'm just saying. It was that you could just tell by the time we got to this match and through this match that this match was missing Mauro Ranallo's voice, in my opinion. He opens the chair, puts Gargano's neck and head on the chair. Like, what is he going to do here? He takes it and just throws him into the steps, into the steel steps. Nasty looking shot. Then he grabs the trash can that he just used over Johnny Gargano's back, and he places Johnny Gargano's face in between on the steps and just throws that trash can into his face. That probably didn't do as much as the chair shot, but it was still a brutal image. He sets Gargano on the steps and tosses the trash can in the ring, takes his shirt and looks to gag Gargano. He takes his shirt that he was wearing. He was wearing some kind of Johnny Gargano like a shirt with Gargano's face on it and his, I think. Says something on the back I couldn't read. And he just wraps it up and takes it and puts it in Gargano's mouth to pull backwards. And then he just drops his elbow into Gargano's forehead. Ciampa starts stomping away on Gargano. Ciampa then slingshots Gargano into the bottom turnbuckle. Then you can just tell that was a brutal spot, because later on you can tell that Johnny Gargano probably had his nose busted, because later on in the shots, you can see that he's bleeding out of his nose. We got blood, just not as much as I thought that there was going to be things they were going to do that was going to end up causing blood. Well, we did get blood on Ciampa's arm, nose for Gargano. And then Ciampa grabs handcuffs, and it's like, oh shit, what's going to happen here? What's the rule of WWE when it comes to weapons? 95% of the time, if you bring something into the ring, it's going to be used against you. Tables, chairs, handcuffs, kendo sticks, whatever. Not all the time, but like a good bit of time after, if you're thrown into a match, you're going to bring something in, and it's going to be used against you eventually. He goes to handcuff Gargano, who fights back, and Ciampa drops the handcuffs. Step up spear through the middle rope. Gargano gets up. Gargano takes off the belt, and he takes off his belt because this was a true street fight. Usually in WWE, when you see a street fight, somebody comes out in no wrestling gear. They come out to a wrestling gear to have a wrestling match with a no DQ match. This was a street fight. These boys came out in t-shirts, jeans, and belts and whatever, and were not even looking like they looked like they were going over to hang out with some friends or go to a basketball, go play some basketball in the park on a nice shady day. Johnny Gargano had a belt. He takes that belt off and starts whipping the living shit out of Ciampa's back. I am wincing every single time. Something like that always makes me wince. I'm not saying I've ever been whipped with a belt, but just hearing the smack of the back, the smack of somebody's back with a belt always makes me wince. Just like when someone gets chopped in the chest, that also makes me wince. When it's a big show chop or something like that, always makes me wince. Later on in the match, they did get a shot of Tommaso Ciampa's back, and you could just see those welts just there. They look nasty. These guys, I'm telling you right now, these guys really know how to make it look like two guys hate each other. Because these guys, buddy, they beat the shit out of each other. He puts the can on, and then he gets a trash can, puts it on Tommaso Ciampa, and then does the super kick onto Tommaso Ciampa in the corner. He sets it up in the corner, goes to the armbar, stops with then he gets stopped with an eye rake. Then the Project Ciampa knee strike with the Project Ciampa. Then he does a running knee strike to the face of Johnny Gargano with a trash can lid in front of his knee twice. Gets a 2 count. Ciampa hits a second running knee with the can lid. That was the second one. Ciampa goes for the white noise, but Gargano with the elbows to Ciampa. He was going to hit the white noise on the steel steps, which would have probably killed Johnny Gargano. But he hits the white noise on the steel steps himself, which, he rolls Gargano back in the ring and only gets a 2 count. These two, I don't know I'm sorry. I will say this again. Anybody who ever says wrestling is fake, you can go fuck off and go shoot yourself. Because I want to see anybody in the world who sits there and says wrestling is fake to do what these guys did. Go do what these guys did. Go have someone pick you up and hold them on their back and have them drop you on the set of steel steps. Have them whip you with a belt, which I'm sure most kids in the 80s and early 90s probably had that anyway. Have them put a trash can lid on your head, super kick you in the face, and tell me that's fake. If anybody with a fucking brain sits there and says wrestling is fake after this match, you are a fucking moron. He puts Gargano on the top rope. He bites Gargano. Oh, I forgot. This is something he does. Ciampa goes and grabs clippers, or he grabs a set of shears that you would use for in a garden. I don't know why those were under the ring ropes, but they were there. He starts clipping the strings that hold the rope or strings that hold the mat down. Something like you saw with Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker at Hell in a Cell, only they ripped the mat completely apart from the inside. They actually pulled it. He pulled it off. He pulled off the canvas. He pulled off the stuff underneath and left the wood exposed. He waves goodbye and moves more under the side of the ring down to the wood of the ring. He puts Gargano on the turnbuckle that's above this wood, and he bites Gargano for good measure, sets him up for looks like white noise off the top rope. But Gargano breaks out and ends up hitting a cheeky Nendo kick. If you know what that is, it's a Will Ospreay special. Then they start trading blows as the crowd cheers and boos, depending on who hits who. Roundhouse blocked into an enziguri, super kick to Ciampa. Both men hit each other with their weapons. Because Gargano had a trash can lid, Ciampa had a clutch. Johnny Gargano hits Ciampa in the face while Ciampa hits up front. Stabs up with the crutch. They hit each other. Ciampa falls down. Gargano falls on top of Ciampa and gets a 2 count. That would have been a hell of a way to end the match, but I don't know if people would have been happy about that. Leap over the top rope by Gargano. Ciampa hits his face first with the trash can land. At this time, Nigel McGuinness on commentary is like, enough is enough. End it already. Running knees into the steel step as Gargano moves out of the way. Ciampa back in the ring. This was a mistake by Tommaso Ciampa in storyline. This was how it was supposed to go, but he runs with the surgically repaired knee with the knee brace on. He runs his knee into the steel steps. He gets back into the ring. He starts messing with his knee brace, looking like he's trying to adjust it. But he looks over and he sees Johnny Gargano looking right at him. So he tries to hurry up and go, oh shit, I just showed that I'm injured. I'm injured my knee again. So what's Johnny Gargano do? He runs in and just starts wailing away, punching at the knee. He grabs a chair and starts driving the chair onto his knee. Shots destroying the knee. Gargano shot back into the trash can. He goes to do something else, and as I said before, what's that rule when it comes to weapons? Bringing them in, it's going to be used on you. Johnny Gargano set a trash can up in the corner, and Johnny Gargano got himself kicked back into that trash can. And then he puts on the Gargano escape. Ciampa tries to do it, and then tries Gargano escape. Johnny Gargano grabs his crutch that he was brought with, and Tommaso Ciampa sees that with his free hand, so he tries to turn it into an STF and do what Johnny Gargano did at New Orleans with his brace, only this with a crutch. But it's not like a brace that you could pull backwards. It's a straight object, so Johnny Gargano fought him off with that. So, and he does some stiff shots, then he finally adjusts his knee brace to go, and then he gets a knee to Gargano's face. Ciampa has the crutch. He winds up. It's Johnny Gargano's crutch. He takes it, and it looks like he's about ready to whack him, but instead he just takes the end of it and just drives it into the back of Gargano's neck for a 2 count. He tosses Gargano back to the outside. He picks him up and drags him to the ramp and says, "You are my family. We were brothers. We went up and down this road together. You did this to yourself." And just like last year in Chicago, he takes Johnny Gargano and tosses him into the Titantron, like he did last year. Only this time, the announce desk was not up by the Titantron, so he wasn't able to go over to the announce table and then do the white noise down onto a bunch of tables. What do you do instead? There's 2 tables sitting over by these construction crates. Conveniently, he takes them up above these crates, and while he has Johnny Gargano down, he pulls, which I hope this wasn't his real wedding band. I would be so mad if it was me, if this was his real wedding band. He pulls off the wedding band that Johnny Gargano has on, spits on it, and tosses it into the crowd. He goes to do another white noise, but Johnny Gargano recovers and hits him with the white noise. Match looks like it's done, over with. The referee calls for help, get everybody out here. Johnny Gargano sitting on the crate that he just jumped off of, and they're putting Tommaso Ciampa in a neck brace, putting him on a gurney. They're trying to get him out, and all of a sudden Johnny Gargano looks down at his finger that had his wedding band on and sees that it's gone. He is pissed. He's like, this is not going to go this way. He got what he wanted. Tommaso Ciampa was going to be taken out in an ambulance. That's what he wanted. But you crossed the line. You took my band away. You threw it away, and he wants to end this in the ring. So he okay, I went in my head. No chance from the crowd when they were taking Ciampa away. They wanted this to be ended the right way. He shoves the medics away, and he grabs the gurney and just drags him back down to the ring slowly. Tommaso Ciampa is screaming no the entire time. He doesn't want to go through with this. He then he lets him free of the gurney and starts wailing on him again. He tosses him back into the ring, puts on the Gargano escape. This pissed me off. This right here pissed me off. Puts on the Gargano escape. This whole thing, the ending was how it should have been, but they did it the wrong way, in my opinion. Where's the referee? Where did the referee go? Why did we have 4 guys in fucking suits? Not referees, not a referee, not referees pulling him off. 4 guys in suits. That ruined the total end of the match for me, was having guys in suits who had no business even sticking their nose in this match. They pull him off, and he does beat them. He does make shoot him away for a bit with some hits, like knocking him out and everything. He grabs the cuffs and cuffs him behind his back, gets him in a Gargano escape. Again, he is tapping, but there's no referee for whatever reason. 4 suits pull him off again. They pull him out of the ring. Back in the ring, there is a referee trying to get the cuffs off of Ciampa now because the referee just conveniently pulled up. And he does get away from the suits. He goes around the ring again. Tommaso Ciampa's up. Johnny Gargano's up by where the wood is at. Tommaso Ciampa gets his arm around Johnny Gargano's head and hits him with a DDT onto the wood. He gets on top of him, tells the referee to count. The crowd's like, what the hell? The match didn't end. 1, 2, 3. Johnny Gargano is defeated by Tommaso Ciampa. After the match, you could tell Tommaso Ciampa was not right at all because this guy was on jelly legs for the rest of the time. Like, he was trying to get out. He got out of the ring. The referee raised his hand when they were still counting, and the ref's like, winner, and the crowd booed. The crowd hated it. The crowd did not want to see him win this match. They wanted Johnny Gargano. They did that right. I just don't like the fact that it was a bunch of suits. There were no referees around anyway. Usually in a match, usually in any kind of scuffle, it's like people and it's like agents and refs. Where were the referees? Why was it 4 corporate suits? That irked me a little bit. Now, if it would have been referees pulling them off, I would have been like, okay, that's just fine. But no, they were like, we're just going to use suits because we don't want Johnny Gargano to win this. We don't want Johnny Gargano to win this way, so we're going to have him get pulled off and then go out and get hit with the DDT. It just didn't feel right to me. That I'm going to end it like that, then do it right. That did not set right with me, and it still doesn't. I might have a different feeling later on, but it just didn't feel right to me. The ending was how it should have been. The wood. Almost nothing. Usually in any type of hardcore match in WWE at all, anything that gets like ready or set up to be used in some way or fashion, or form or fashion, is going to be used. But after the match, and he's done winning. Candice LeRae is in the match. I don't remember seeing her run down there, but she was in there. They were trying to set him up. Tommaso Ciampa using the gun, he gets to back up to the stage and just does his bye taunt to Johnny Gargano with this look of like vengeance, like I got my revenge on this guy. The crowd chanting "Fuck you, Ciampa! Fuck you, Ciampa! Fuck you, Ciampa!" as they go to black. Great show. There was a couple down spots, which the Women's Championship match, if you think about it, was a down spot after everything else we saw. I still highly enjoyed the match. Was it going to be a 5-star classic? No. Was it going to be different? Yes. It was very different. Like I said, that made 1993 Goldust look like a sane, like a normal person. That's how strange Nikki Cross came off to me tonight. But that is going to be your NXT Chicago review and results. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of NXT Takeover Chicago. Were you happy with the matches? Did everyone you get right? I believe I got everything but the Velveteen Dream and Ricochet right. I'm pretty sure I got everything else right. I could be wrong on that. But that is going to be all. We will be back here for Money in the Bank. If anyone really cares about Money in the Bank, we will be back for Money in the Bank tomorrow. Until then, my name is The Frogs. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, evening, or night, whenever you see this, and I will see you guys later.